All right, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. If you just tuned in, you're watching Daybreak Extra on Trust TV, and we have our first guest in the studio. Now, today we'll be talking about the game of, that's chess, by the way, the game of strategy or intelligence. Now, chess is about making strong moves and sticking by them. The central law of chess is to restrict movements of enemy pieces. Now, there are chess move strategies, but there are also strategies that are used away from the board, and it includes many factors from requests to the officials, the request to the opponent, to timeout, to physical preparation, and more. And joining us in the studio, for those of you who do not even understand what the game of chess is all about, because I know a lot of people, don't seem to find that particular game interesting. Joining us in the studio to discuss the game of chess, if it's a strategy or a game of intelligence, is Jaolusi Oluwaseun, an author of the Nigerian chess book in Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba languages. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, all right, thanks.
Okay, so a lot of people, would actually say there's so many things you could actually write about as an author. Why chess? You need to have a really deep relationship with chess to be able to even write about it. So how important is chess to you?
All right. Okay, once again, feel so honored to be here today. All right, so I've been writing in the past since 2016. Up to now, I've authored 6 different books. Okay. This book made it the 7th book I authored.
Yes.
Why chess? Looking at the potential of chess, developmental potential of chess, what's writing about, and its developmental potential has actually been underexplored in this side of the world. That's why I actually chose to write about it. Not only write about it in English language, in Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba languages, knowing fully well that multilingualism and localization of content played a pivotal role in development. Take the history of, the first world countries today. They so much place values in their language, place role in technological development, and that's how we can actually reach out to the grassroots, in the course of stimulating, sustainable development. So that's actually how it is.
Okay,
so,
the game of chess is more than just an indoor game to you.
Sure.
And growing up, let's say in high school, I saw a lot of people go for chess competition just because I love to travel.
Okay.
I ventured into chess and I was like, okay, this is more than just sports.
All right.
It just makes you take the fastest decision in the shortest possible time.
Yeah, exactly.
And a friend of mine told me that, it has really changed their way of thinking since they got introduced to chess.
All right, okay.
How important is chess in decision making? Generally, life matters.
All right, okay. Chess, as it is, entails making the best decision within the shortest period of time. Talking about the topic or the theme of this discourse, of this discussion, like chess, a game of strategy or intelligence. First and foremost, what is strategy? Strategy is just like the action planned on ground to actualize a goal or a target, a long-term goal or a long-term, target. That's strategy. Then intelligence is the mental application of one's intellectual capacity to, actualize those plans. If you look at it, football managers, coaches, most of them play chess. Yeah, there's this similarity between chess and chess game and football. Like, as a chess player, you need to have a formation, winning formation, before you even start. Perhaps you want to move your e2 to e4. That's an attacking formation. If you move your e2 to e3, that's kind of defensive, playing as white. If you move your E6 to E7, that's quite defensive as black. So to say, you might not really understand this kind of terminology. Sorry, that's just by the way. So before you make the first move, you need to have your formation. That is the strategy, right? Quite all right. Then talking about the intellectual aspect of it. Now, the mental application of your, of your abilities is actually the other side of it. So something about chess is just like it's kind of wide and wild, so to say. The 4th chapter of this book, even beyond the chess of a thing, game of a thing, I actually apply chess to explain the concept of architecture. Before this time, people have this stereotype about architecture is one of the hardest course in most universities, hardest field of study, but actually apply the concept of chess to break that knowledge barrier. Now, if you understand chess as a child or as an adult, you can understand architecture. You can check the fourth chapter of this book. I treated chess in architecture. Why?
So, well, you're a mechanical engineer. So, did that come from your AutoCAD experience?
Yeah, exactly. I've been using AutoCAD for more than 12 years now, so to say. And growing up back then in school, we were exposed to some, civil engineering courses. In the course, we have to make some technical drawings, make some building plans, and I started developing myself. While doing my IT, I learned automated computer-aided design. Now, growing up playing chess, I discovered that, there's something quite similar about architecture and chess of a thing, so to say. Bishop can only move along the diagonal path. That's 45 degrees. Knight can move L-shape in all directions. That's 90 degrees. And you can see king can make this, circular path. Queen can also make a circular path. That's, this is circular profile. And that's all you just need to, that's all you need to be an architect. So if you look at the fourth chapter of this book, I actually, I did something like a case study. I did a building plan, I did elevation view, and I actually used chess moves, roof moves along the vertical part and horizontal part. I used all those move profiles to create this architectural interpretation. Now, breaking it down to the, developmental application of chess. Now, any child that understands the concept of chess can actually excel in any field of study.
Interesting.
Yes.
So a lot of people seem to actually think that, chess players or those who play the game of chess have high IQ.
Yes, it takes being intellectually inclined to play chess. A dull person might not be able to cope with chess. And in the past, I've had a lot of people say, oh, chess is hard, chess is this, chess is that. Chess is not hard. Should I tell you something? I've tutored a lot of people on how to play chess. Some, I spent a day to teach them how to play chess. Some within 2 hours how to play chess. Some weeks. In fact, some kids back then, 2 years ago, I spent 3 days to teach all these kids how to play chess. So it depends on your mental ability, your mental capacity, which varies from, humans to humans, your IQ, intellectual, capacity, so to say. So chess is quite interesting, so to say.
All right, so tell us about your book. When you came out with it, what was the reception like from Nigerians?
So to say.
And why did you decide to, break it and make it in Hausa, Yoruba, in the 3 different languages?
Oh, okay. The reception from Nigerians. Yeah. First and foremost, let us talk about book of a thing and this Nigerian perspective. There's this existing mentality that blacks don't read, so to say. So now we need to break that barrier. You get blacks, you don't like reading books. In fact, most of my friends say, why are you choosing, you've authored 7 books within 7 years. Are you sure people are even reading this book? Yeah, some people still read. And let me tell you something. Education is the backbone of development. Go and check. Research-oriented education is actually one of the fastest way to make a country grow. So we need people who will read and write, make research. And if you check, most of all these universities, see their final year projects are being dumped in the basket after, they've defended it. Nobody picks those things up to even go deeper in it. So let's develop this idea, let's develop this initiative. That's why you see in this side of the world we're still backward, but in some other developed nations, it's not like that. You understand? So this is a research work, so to say. Now, you ask a question that why do I have to go further?
Why did you translate it
it's outside. I told something earlier, multilingualism. and localization of content plays a pivotal role in development, in educational outreach. So to say, people are going to appreciate this much more because it's written in their own language, Hausa language, Igbo language, and even beyond the stress of a thing, you can actually use this to like for cultural development, so to say. Cultural development, cultural integration. See Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba languages in one book, and English language, which is our unofficial, language in Nigeria. This is Nigeria, so it should be much more appreciated. So to say, you also asked the question that was the reception by Nigerians. They turned out not that.
Encouraging.
It's quite encouraging.
This book is actually for beginners, right?
It's multi-purpose for beginners,
okay.
for intermediate, and if you want to learn how to play chess, so it's everything here, like you have everything here.
So before this book, you came up with #Blitz100 chess rating system.
Okay.
So what was the motivation for you? Something significant must have happened to you for you to come up with all of the books, the rating system.
Okay.
Can you share that with us?
Oh, actually, 100 Blitz chess rating system is one of the best things I've ever done in my chess exploits.
Awesome.
So to say, I posted something on Twitter. Anybody can be a grandmaster. That's one of the highest, after champion. Grandmaster is one of the highest level you can attain.
So are you a grandmaster?
No, I'm not a grandmaster. Man, no, they don't know what it takes to be a grandmaster. Perhaps an expert, chess expert. At least, grandmaster is a big name, so I might not be able to defend that now.
But expert is just before grandmaster, isn't it?
No, we still have senior master.
Okay.
Oh.
We have intermediate, professional, expert,
I see.
master, senior master, then grandmaster. Then after the grandmaster, then we now have the champion. So there are levels to that. So that grandmaster, we might be playing chess. I can call you grandmaster, but don't go and put grandmaster something by any way you want to address me.
You have to defend it.
I can't defend that now. So to say, what's my ELO rating? No, I still have very low ELO rating. No, ELO rating is actually this standard, point system. You understand, to rate the level of chess players. So going back to our previous conversation, you asked me that what motivated me to invent this 100 Blitz chess racing system, and I replied that it's actually one of the best things I've ever done in the course of my chess exploit. Now, initially, we have chess grandmasters, but anybody could be a chess grandmaster, but it takes an extra mile to become an 100 Blitzer, for you to play 100 Blitz within 24 hours. Do you know what it means? Like, you want to play 100 Blitz within 24 hours. And also see Usain Bolt can run short distance. But this Kenyan, athlete is actually one of the best marathon racers. So there's a place for Usain Bolt in terms of race. And there's also a place for this Kenyan guy. I think Kipuchi, I can't remember that name. Okay. So there's a place for short distance racer, and there's also a place for marathon racer. So in the chess world also, I invented this marathon chess competition. So now the concept, the idea is just like, play 100 Blitz game within 24 hours and win 50. I actually did it September 29th. I played 100 Blitz matches. People will say, how did you get to do it? Like, seriously. The second time I tried to do it, I fell sick. Like, something crazy.
Okay.
So to say, so that 100 Blitz is a chess racing system. So now what I want to do is just like, I want to bring up some other talent from the grassroots. Some people actually, they don't have this capacity to run short distance, but they have this mental capacity to do this long distance competition. So we want to bring out those kind of, I strongly believe in Africa, in US, in UK, all over the continent, we still have, a lot of chess players like that. They have this mental capacity to play 100 Blitz within 24 hours. Yeah, so to say.
I could still be one of them, or I'm too
Sure,
old.
sure, yeah, but it takes extra, it's the extra mile in the game, so to say. So 100 Blitz is quite interesting. I'm actually working on it.
I'm actually very. I actually want to know. Now you've talked about chess teaching strategy,
Yeah, okay.
intelligence.
Okay.
And what other things does chess actually teach?
Okay, now in the course of writing this book, I invented applied chess science. It's actually a new field of study. First and foremost, let me define this applied chess science. It's the practical application of chess game beyond its usual competitive facets. Initially, okay, people learn how to play chess, they go for competitions, or you win this award, you're given some money. That's all we know about chess of a thing in the past. But now I'm just trying to break that barrier. Now, do you know that chess explains the concept of law? Chess explains the concept of sociology, even forex. You know when to pull out, you know when to make more advances. Chess explains all those concepts. Now I've used chess to explain the concept of architecture in this. As you can see, that's applied chess science, applying the theoretical concept of chess for practical purpose, for developmental purpose, for economic purpose.
So it's a unification now.
So yeah,
Science.
okay, yeah. So in this book, the first line about the book, chess is the unification of art and science. You understand? A universal language widely spoken far and near by the young and the old. Its concept is a clear cross to the universal ideas of solutionism. You understand? Universal ideas of solutionism. Sometimes you might be stuck, like, at a dilemma, at a junction, you just need to do one or two things. Play chess for a while. Because of playing chess, giving your brain extra exercise, you might just have a breakthrough. Most inventors, chess coach, you can see great people, politicians, they apply chess. So now, and if you see, these are the kind of things, this developed nation, first world, these are the kind of things they actually put cognizance to. That's why they are much more advanced than us. So right now, there's a chess revolution going on right now. We check online, and by the matter of fact, the second most liked picture on the internet is chess related. I hope you're aware, more than 40 million likes on Instagram. That's the photo of Ronaldo and Messi playing chess.
Oh,
Yeah,
we've seen that picture.
The two
Rolling around before the World
So
Cup.
that's actually the second most liked, It's an immortal game that's been existing for more than 1,000 years. So to say, a lot of great people, inventors, and playing. So want Nigerian kids to play chess, perhaps they could become inventors tomorrow, so to say. And also, primarily, one of the goals of this book is for it to be maximized as an alternative model of education. Some kids are actually, very intelligent, so to say, but they don't have this opportunity to go to these four walls of school. Now we want to use chess as another model of education for them. If they, now don't let me put much more, cognizance on talks or theoretical, perspective. Let's take a brief look at what this guy, Tunde Onakoya, is doing in Lagos. He's doing a very great work. I told you something earlier. There's currently a chess revolution in Nigeria. Tunde Onakoya is doing a very great work in Lagos.
Really laurels with just playing chess.
Not only playing chess, what he does goes on the bridge, goes to have some dedicated places, bring up kids, out of school kids, even kids that are in school are not left out in the process. Teach them how to play chess, and after that, for some months, he actually set up, ICT center, and some of them are excelling. Some of them are even representing Nigeria outside the country. We have more than 200 million, citizens. It's quite possible for us to have one or two grandmasters. We don't really have.
Okay, just before you go further, right, we're actually about to wrap up this discussion, but then you talked about, Grandmaster not even being, the highest title when it comes to chess. And
Just champion.
How many champions do we have in the world?
I mean, I can't actually keep this figure.
So
But right now, number one, the
there's an
highest rated chess player, and there was Magnus Carlsen. Most respect to him. I think last time I checked, was rated more than 2,700 ELO points. ELO rating, that's the standard rating for chess player. I think it's rating more than 2,700, perhaps 2,800. Just a low rating.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and we have some other great grandmaster, but in Africa we have few grandmaster. Nigeria, I don't think we have any grandmaster. We're a country of more than 200 million people. Are you not telling me that we don't have intellectually inclined people that can become grandmaster?
Of course,
Definitely
we do. Have lots
so we
of
want to
them.
bring those talents out. Localization of this chess knowledge is actually one of the pathways to actualize this long-term goal. That's a strategy on its own. Going back to the topic of this
because
discussion.
of our interest for
Understand?
chess,
So-
we could go on and on
Exactly.
talking about chess,
Okay.
and the conversation would never end.
Okay, yeah.
But it's been wonderful having you on the show,
Okay.
Mr. Oluwaseyi.
Oluwaseun.
All right. Thank you so much for being
right,
on the
nice to
show.
have you.
We hope
Okay.
to have you some other time where we go, extensively on how chess works
Okay.
for our minds and also decision making.
Okay, all right then. Thanks. Nice to have you.
All right, thank you so much for coming.
All right, thanks.
All right, we'll be back after this break for more discussion.